Today in class you're going to be playing multiplication checkers, so I'm going to go over the activity, how to play, and what I expect from you. So each pair of students will receive a bag. Inside the bag there is an answer key, there is a blue checkerboard, there are game pieces, and there are cards that have multiplication questions on them. I realize that several of you do not know how to play checkers, so I'm going to go over how to play checkers briefly. You will be given these chips. There's red on one side and yellow on the other. Each student needs 8 of them. So one student will be red and one student will be yellow. You just need to flip them over. A lot of times when you play normal checkers, each person will have 3 rows of game pieces, but we're just going to go with 2 rows. Okay? You have blank, usually it's white, but ours are blue. You have blank spaces and colored in spaces. And you are only putting your markers, your game pieces, on the black spots. Okay? You want to make sure that when you're playing, you're putting this in a good spot, because as you can see, the game pieces move easily when you hit the board. You want to make sure that you're not losing any of the pieces, okay? So to play checkers, one person will go first. You can rock, paper, scissors really fast, or you can always say that the person that's red goes first. Okay? The point is you want to get all of your pieces over to the other side in these spots right here. So the first person would move, and you can only move on the black tiles that are touching your where your piece is. So I'm going to move that one over. You may not move backwards. So the next person will move, and you can choose to move that one again, or to move a different one. I don't remember who went last. I'm going to move my piece right here. This yellow piece can jump over my red piece. When it does that, it takes that red piece, and the red person just lost out on a piece. So they're down 1 man. Okay. The red will want to move quickly because this piece will be able to jump over him if he stays in that spot. We are not going to do double jumps. So those of you that know how to play checkers and you know what double jumps are, we're not doing that. Okay. So I'm going to move. You're going to continuously, I'm playing as 2 people right now, but you want to continuously move. I'm going to jump that person. You really want to try not to move your pieces that are right here so that the opponent, your other person, does not have the opportunity to get right there. But I'm going to show you what the purpose is. And I'll say that they do that. So I'm going to jump them. And I've made it to that spot. Okay. When that happens, when someone gets over here and they've made it to that spot, they become what we call a king. And so this person, to indicate that that person is a king, we're going to take one of the ones that we've taken off and stack it on top so that there's 2 of them. If a person is a king, that means that they can move any direction on the board. They can move forwards and backwards. So before my red pieces could only move this way, this one can now move backwards. Okay, and you want to be, you want to get rid of your opponent's pieces. I'm sure there are many people in the room that know how to play checkers, and I'm sure that your substitute knows how to play checkers as well. So that is your brief lesson on how to play checkers. Eventually you play till all of these are gone. Okay. For today, the way that we are playing checkers is you will have these cards, and these cards need to get back in its little lovely clip thing. Okay. My plan was that all of these cards would be the same color and there would be different colors for different games, but I messed up on the copying and that did not happen. So these cards you can put in a stack face down, or you can put them in one of your bags and draw them out. But one person will go and they will draw the card. Okay. You'll see on this card it has the equation, and then there's a number in the corner. That number is so that you can check your answer. When you are working the problem, the first person goes and they pull that card. You need to have notebook paper. You are going to be turning in this notebook paper, so you need to have your name, and your date, and the number on it. Okay. All of your papers will be stapled together and turned into the blue bins at the end of class. Okay. So my number is 77 times 24. I'm going to go ahead and write down that this is problem 42, and there are 45 questions in the bag. Okay. I'm going to write down 77 times 24. I'm going to estimate. That would be 80 times 20, which would give me 1,600. Okay. I am now going to solve. 77 times 24. 4 times 7 is 28. 4 times 7 is 28, plus 2 is 30. Kill, bury, get rid of the evidence. 2 times 7 is 14. Carry. 2 times 7 is 14, plus 1 is 15. So I'm saying that my answer is 1,848. Since this is problem 42, I'm going to go to the answer key and find 42 and see if the answer is correct, 1,848, and it was. You can see that I left my answer key inside of the bag because it fits well and helps me keep track of the bag. Okay. Again, you are responsible for turning this in, and you want to keep it neat. You can probably get 4 to 6 problems on a page. Now, whether you get the question right or wrong, you still get to move your piece. So your board will be set up. One person works a problem. While you're working the problem, you need to be telling your partner what you're doing. So one person should not be sitting there working a problem while the other person is spinning in their chair, looking around at the ceiling, or picking at their shoes. So you're both going to be talking together. And if your partner's struggling, you're going to help them. Okay? So you get to move your checker piece every time, whether you get it right or wrong. So you work a problem, you move a piece. And the other person works a problem. When they finish working their problem, they move the piece. Okay? When you check your work with your answer key, I want you to put an X if it's wrong and a check mark if it's right. And then you'll write your next problem. And again, you'll go back and forth. I really hope that you guys enjoy this game and that you stay on task. You need to make sure that all pieces get back in. There will be 16 of these. This needs to go back in. These problems need to go back in, and it doesn't, you're not going to work the problems in order most likely. You're just going to draw them out. And they all need to go back in the bag. If you have any questions, ask your teacher.